Let's talk to political analyst Professor Ntsikelelo Breakfast as we, of course, continue to monitor the looming cabinet announcement. Prof, thank you so much for your time. I want us to first begin with what happened in Parliament today. Maybe just your reaction around, firstly, the position of Dr. John Hlophe as the MK party's parliamentary leader and, of course, his likely role on key structures.
Well, I think the issue of Judge Hlophe or former Judge Hlophe is an interesting turn of events. I think most of us didn't see it coming, given the fact that he was the president of the Western Cape High Court, if I'm not mistaken. So for him now to join a political party, I think it's something that is unprecedented. But anyway, the situation is what it is. I think he's bringing to the fore his background of law. You heard him also, invoking some parts of the Constitution that need to be changed, and how, the land that was stolen needs to be returned back, and how Black people need to be entrenched in the commanding heights of the economy. And how, our lives as Africans, need to be appreciated in politics. So I think that is going to be something that we need to watch on in the politicum of this country.
And of course, just moving on to, the looming announcements of cabinet. There is growing concern around when exactly President Cyril Ramaphosa will announce his cabinet. It has never taken this long in the past, for the announcement to be made. And many, in fact, are criticizing the government of national unity. In fact, Dr. Hlophe referred to it as the government of convenience, which will implode.
The ANC is faced with a very difficult situation because since 1994, it has never, gotten below 50%. So it is forced now to work side by side with other political parties because one-party dominance is a thing of the past, and the ANC has been on a downward electoral trajectory. So the stalemate is caused by different understandings and interpretations of the statement of intent, because the ANC was made to sign off a document that I think maybe they didn't go through it properly. So you see that the DA, every time they disagree on something, is invoking some of the provisions of the statement of intent, and the ANC wants to circumvent some of the disagreements by invoking the Constitution. And at the heart of this is the slow pace of service delivery, because you don't have political heads of departments at the moment. And that is very important in terms of giving strategic direction to those departments, but also to the country.
And Prof, how concerned are you then that it is taking so long for President Cyril Ramaphosa to announce? On the one hand, we are told that government is functioning pretty well, without ministers and deputy ministers, etc. But on the other hand, we know that this is important, for the country, so that the business of the day, as you also rightfully say, must continue. We're also seeing, of course, internal squabbles already between the DA and the ANC. Some saying that the DA is being ridiculous with its laundry list of requests and demands. What then do we make of all of this, and how worried should we be?
Yeah, politics and administration are like two sides of the same coin. You cannot say that the government is able to get the job done without political heads, because the role of bureaucracy is to implement policies which are made by politicians. And now you have departments that don't have political leaders, so you can't say they are up and running. I seriously disagree with that. But at the same time, the ANC has a stalemate, and because they've just signed off this document of statement of intent, they need to operationalize, I think, the whole idea of having an independent body that is meant to resolve some of the disputes. That is part of international best practices. But I hope that they see this at a theoretical level, maybe as a win-win situation as opposed to a win-lose situation. I get the sense that you have hardliners and softliners, and the DA are the hardliners. And I think they're arguing from a powerful position because they've given the ANC a buy-in to elect the president and also to elect the speaker. And now the question that maybe they're grappling with is what's in it now for them. So the support that they've given the ANC was in exchange for something for them. I mean, there are no freebies in politics, but I don't know how they are going to find each other in this regard, because as the citizens of this country, we are on the back foot. I think we are the most affected ones. And I think maybe in future also when these coalition arrangements are formed, civil society and ordinary citizens must be taken on board. Not only the political elite should be the ones that decide about the future of the country.
And you've touched on, the implications on the South African public in terms of the hurdles that we are seeing with this government of national unity so far. What then are the implications, for instance, for the opposition parties like the MK party, like the EFF? And on another front, what are then the implications should the hurdles then, not grant us that, that government of national unity that we're all hoping will be finalized?
I think the first implication that I omitted is the economic performance of the country, because the markets, they want a certainty, and you don't have a certainty at the moment because you have different political parties in a coalition arrangement. I know the subset of that is a government of national unity, but you have these political parties pulling in different directions, and that doesn't convey a good message to the markets in terms of the stability of the country. Thank goodness, not all the political parties in parliament are part of this arrangement. Other political parties are part of the opposition caucus, which is good because we need to maintain the principle of separation of powers. The role of the executive institution is to propose policies, formulate policies, but the role of the legislative institution is to make laws, but over and above that is to provide oversight on the executive institution. So if all political parties are going to join the executive institution, Parliament will not be able to do its job. So it's good that the EFF is there, it's good that the MK is there and ATM is there. They can hold the government accountable so that the principle of separation of powers is upheld.
Just as a final from me, Prof, and a development again that happened today. Of course, we did know that the former Minister of Sports, Arts and Culture had indicated that he would be sworn in today as a member of Parliament. I mean, just your reading into that and what that says then about the ANC that has purported to, be on this journey of renewal and would be changing its ways. I mean, just the symbolism of having him back in Parliament.
I think the ANC is applying double standards. It is conveying a message that it doesn't take the issue of corruption seriously. It has been talking a lot about corruption in theory, but not in practice. And I think the conception of a step-aside principle has fallen away because they don't take it seriously, or it was formulated to basically entrench dominance of the current faction of the ANC, which is the Ramaphosa faction, over the other faction, because we've seen the step-aside principle being operationalized against certain people. So it has been used to purge certain people in the name of renewal and so on. But then when it's other people, maybe who belong to the dominant faction, you see the ruling party using a softy approach. I mean, this is not a good thing, seriously, to have a person who has been charged seriously, to be sworn in and to be anointed by the ruling party to go and represent people. I mean, it's a smack in the face of the citizens of this country.